Whatever Trump wants in terms of his legislative agenda, he already pushes through the executive office. So at the very least, if the filibuster is gone, then that changes the dynamic of Congress altogether.
Dollars a year, and most importantly, higher productivity. Today is about freeing Americans from the weight, literally and figuratively, that holds us back. It's about unlocking the potential of every citizen to live fully, to contribute fully, and to find joy in their health. We cannot reach our full potential as a nation if we do not reach our full potential as individuals if we are not healthy. Thanks to Nova and Lily for showing up so constructively over the last several months to make this possible. In particular, thanks to you, Mr. President, for again demonstrating that you fight for every American, this time for potential. It's now my sincere pleasure to first introduce Dave Ricks from Lilly and then Mike Dustar from Nova.
Thank you. Great. Thank you, Chris. It's truly an honor to be here today for this historic step forward to expand access to a class of medications that can fundamentally change the arc of chronic disease in our country. Of course, these are the incretin or GLP-1 agonist that we've been speaking about. For nearly 150 years, has been investing in America. We've been advancing science.
I paused. Don't worry. I paused. I'm waiting. The F is over. We're back. Tom Cott's chewing on the internet cables right now. I know. We're back.
Science and creating high-value jobs. But today, oh, you okay? Gordon, you okay? Oh, yeah.
They put, dude, this is what happens when he stands near J.D. Vance, brother. That's what happened. Wait, replay it? I missed it?
For nearly 150 years,
guy, look.
My company, Eli Lilly, has been investing in America. We've been advancing science and creating high-value jobs. But today, oh, you okay? Gordon, you okay? Yeah.
RFK dipped? Wait, what? Where is RFK?
That we've been speaking about.
Why are you guys saying RFK dipped? RFK is right here.
That can fundamentally America. We've been oh, you okay? Gordon, you okay?
Oz rushes towards him. Where does RFK go? Do you guys have a better angle? I need to see his motion. Why did he run away? Is he the one responsible? What the?
Creating high-value jobs. But today, oh, you okay? Gordon, you okay?
What the? Dude, it's an admin full of sickos, dude. That's so funny. It's definitely the opposite. It's definitely the opposite response that you would expect of someone. Like, it's just like a not human thing to do. Why did he just go Bro, he walked away like he did it. He walked away like he was responsible, bro. Look at this.
You okay? Gordon, you okay? Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, but he probably was looking for help. I'm assuming he was looking for help. He probably ran over to get help, but to make sure that the help didn't bring Tylenol. You know what I mean? Because like if someone else went to get help, they might have accidentally brought Tylenol. Newsmax's immediate response to the medical emergency at the Oval Office, President Trump, we want to be clear, is okay.
So you're looking live right now. President Trump, we want to be clear, is okay. We know that Dr. Oz, there was some sort of medical emergency. The president in the Oval Office announcing this historic agreement.
None of the important people in the room are in any danger. Don't worry. This is the best. This actually is the best photo. This is the photo I was talking about. This is the defining photo of this administration. I love that. Just a dude dying, literally within reaching distance. And the president's like, what are you gonna do?
Mr. President, given these modifications that are being made to air travel, the other disruptions with the government shutdown, do you think it's time for Republicans in Congress to change their negotiating position at all?
In what way?
To start making concessions to Democrats?
Well, I think it's time for them to end the filibuster and just put everybody back to work. Vote in voter ID, vote in no mail-in voting except for military, faraway military, and people that are very sick. No, I'd like to see one-day voting. I'd like to see not 65 days of voting from all over the place. No, I'd like to clean up the elections. The The border, we've done a great job. We have a great, strong border now. But I'd like to see new rules on immigration that can be fair and good, you know, but rules that you'll never get, rules that they're never going to get. There's so many things we could put in, including tax cuts that we could get, and we could do it all ourselves. But to do that, you have to end the filibuster. The filibuster.
I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, why not? Controversial opinion. I've given up on the Democrats doing this ever. So I'm glad that the Republicans are doing it. Let them do it. Guess what? Guess what? Right now, you're going to say, oh, but the filibuster could be used as a tool to stop their legislative agenda. Brother, they are not even using the congressional powers at all. Fox News, Zoran puppet turns on him. What do you mean? He's currently doing whatever he wants to without even using Congress. The only time the Democrats used the filibuster was for Cory Booker to pee in a diaper. Right now, whatever Trump wants in terms of his legislative agenda, he already pushes through the executive office. So at the very least, if the filibuster is gone, then that changes the dynamic of Congress altogether. That's it. The filibuster currently is a conservative tool that Republicans use to undermine the agenda of the Democrats, because the Democrats need to build. The Democrats need to pass legislation. They need to fund things. And the Republicans will use the filibuster as a tool, which, by the way, they don't even actually use the filibuster in the way that they're supposed to. You only saying this because it won't affect you? Sick of you? Wait, what? Wait, what does that mean? Chatter, what do you think the filibuster is, man? Bro, that's so funny. He just said, oh, yeah. Yeah, you would. You would want the filibuster to be abolished. You asshole. Like, only because it doesn't affect you. The way the filibuster is supposed to work is that it's a process method to basically stop a bill from being passed with a simple majority in the Senate. Because the only way to override the filibuster is a vote that requires more than just a simple majority. Okay? And normally, the only way that you're supposed to do it historically is by standing on the floor of the Senate and delivering a speech. Okay? Uninterrupted. Stop eating, bro. Stop eating, holy stow. No, I will not stop eating. I'm going to continue eating, chatter. I'm hungry. My food's not even here yet. I'm just snacking right now. I'm doing the snack segment. But after the snack segment is over, you will see me eating like actual food as well. But in any case, Uncle Sam's talking about nuking the filibuster. I would need this guy to explain. I need this guy to explain what he means when he said, you only saying this because it won't affect you. Sick of you. Like, he needs to explain to me why he's Mr. Advocate for the filibuster.
Okay, but let's just be clear here.
Oh.
So first off, there's a couple things. Trump just admitted that it's Republicans who are standing in the way of any type of legislation going forward, right? They have the ability to get rid of the filibuster. They can do this. And then he says, we're going to pass our agenda. What is our agenda? Nothing, except for trying to ensure that we can win the midterms.
Exactly.
I mean, literally nothing. This is also why it would be good for the Republicans to get rid of the filibuster, because Democrats will never do it on their own. They're too cowardly.
Yep.
They're too cowardly. They're too cowardly. And Republicans are afraid of getting rid of the filibuster too, because once you get rid of the filibuster, you actually, as a political party, have to own your decisions. You have to own them.
And the Republicans don't want to get rid of the filibuster because it benefits them disproportionately. We've said this before. You know, under Biden, there were at one point 50 Democratic senators and 50 Republican senators. And the 50 Democratic senators represented 40 million more people than the 50 Republican senators, because Montana has the same number of senators as California does. So it is undemocratic in the construction of the institution. And then you put on another layer of undemocracy of the filibuster needing a 60-vote threshold
and let's
for
be
most
clear.
legislation. Yeah.
The first thing you're talking about that Montana and California have the exact same amount of representation in the Senate is constitutional. The filibuster
Is not.
Is just habit.
Yeah.
That's basically.
It's true. It's not a constitutional. There's no constitutional provision or anything, no constitutional amendment. It's just like something that the Senate decided to do and has continued to do. Okay. Oh, so just following Unk's talking points? What do you mean? Unk and I agree on this issue. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, God, hold on. Oh, do I call the front desk?
Right.
It's
And they're
just
looking at a guy with historic unpopularity right now, telling them to give up their major strategic advantage in the Senate because he wants to ram his bill through and doesn't want to have to negotiate with Democrats to save their own ass, by the way. He's worried about the midterms because...
That's it.
That's it.
He doesn't care about anything else.
But rigging it, though, or intimidating his way because he doesn't want to cave. But the problem for him is that if these ACA subsidies, they let them expire... every Republican is going to be up for re-election in the fall in 2026 in the House. They could get wiped out over that. So, I mean, he's putting them in a horrible position, which is actually
Good.
Good, yeah.
And I think that, you won't see Democrats saying, well, he just admitted that the Republicans, if they don't pass any legislation, it's a function of the Republicans. They have the ability to get rid of the filibuster. And let's be clear, they've done it 3 times.
Yeah. Is there anything stopping them from eliminating the filibuster only to reinstitute it after? Yeah, it's when the Democrats come back into power and they do it on their own because they love hurting their own agenda. Just a process method to stop bills from being passed. Technically, the way the filibusters used to work is in the Senate, you can just stop a bill from being passed by taking up space, going to the floor of the Senate and speaking, okay, uninterrupted. And for as long as you could go uninterrupted, you could stop the passage of this bill, okay, by yapping. And the only way to overcome this filibuster was with not a simple majority vote, but instead a supermajority vote. Okay. And historically, people have done funny things, silly things, whatever, right? However, because our gerontocracy has gotten even older than ever before, somewhere along the way, we realized nobody even wants to stand up. So the mere threat of a filibuster was all that was necessary, which is why most of these bills that could be passed with a simple majority do not get passed with a simple majority because everyone threatens that they will filibuster. Now you can just threaten to filibuster it, and like people basically operate as though you need a supermajority to pass bills in Congress because you need a supermajority to stop a filibuster in Congress. That's it. Okay.
They did it to roll back cafe standards, I think it was, in California. There was 2 other times that they literally nuked the filibuster. And they could do it here. And if they do, though, that means Democrats have a license now to do it.
Yeah.
And Chuck Schumer is very afraid of that. There are Democrats who are afraid of that because you don't want like... You need a built-in excuse. That's why Cuomo created the IDC, is because he needed a cover as to why he wasn't signing off on progressive legislation because it would interfere with the donors. Let's get rid of the filibuster. I am with Donald Trump on this. That's the thing. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. I agree with Donald Trump. Let's get rid of the filibuster and allow the Republicans to do what they're...
Yes. And a part of the reason why Sam is saying this, and I agree with him on this, is because Republicans already get their fucking agenda across anyway. Like, they're currently passing everything through the executive mandate. Like, it's insane because Republicans don't necessarily need the great deliberative body to, especially when they're in power, they don't need the great deliberative body of the Senate to enact out their agenda. Their agenda is deregulation. Their agenda is tax cuts. They already passed the tax cuts. They did that with simple majority through the funding mechanism, so it doesn't matter, right? So for that reason, they low-key are doing whatever the fuck they want to do without the filibuster. So the filibuster in and of itself is only going to be a hurdle for the Democrats down the line if they ever get back into power. Unless, of course, these very same Democrats are trying not to enact a legislative agenda, and they can use the filibuster to claim that they have another hurdle. Okay? Can't rewind. You can't rewind if you're not subscribed. If you're subscribed to the Piker Broadcasting Service, you can rewind. But if you don't subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service, you can't. You all right, boss? Why are people saying, am I all right? Yes, I'm all right. What the fuck?
You.
By part.
Anyway, but yeah, I agree with Uncle Sam on that.
And they'll do it too. They'll immediately do it. You know, what they're gonna do is, what the Democrats will do is they're gonna make Puerto Rico a state. They're gonna make DC a state. They're going to pack the court. They're going to end up with more electoral votes. They're going to end up with 4 senators because of the 2 states. And they're going to do this 100%. They would have done it except Manchin and Sinema got in their way. They would have done it. So if they're going to do it, I would do it. I would do it before them.
And you think
it's a little like
Israel.
Israel attacked first. That attack was very, very powerful. I was very much in charge of that.
What the
Israel
fuck?
Attacked Iran first. That was a great day for Israel because that attack did more damage than the rest of them put together. What I'd like to see is voter ID. Who wouldn't approve voter ID? The Democrats. Why wouldn't they approve it? Because they cheat. There's only one reason not. We don't have voter identification, and we should have it. If we got rid of the filibuster, in one day you'd have voter identification. The only reason they don't want it is because they cheat.
Bro, sundowning Biden style. I don't understand what Israel has to do with any of this, but
a federal judge
he wants to preemptively strike the Democrats, I think.
Fund SNAP benefits for November by tomorrow. Judge John McCall criticized the Trump administration for making partial payments, saying, quote, people have gone without for too long. Not making payments to them for even another day is simply unacceptable. So for more on this, I want to bring in ABC News Washington, D.C. Bureau Managing Editor Catherine Falders, who has been covering this. And Catherine, it's really notable just how much of a rebuke Judge McConnell made here.
Yeah, it really is. It was quite striking. Of course, he probably went, Alex, as far as I've seen any federal judge go, at least in the past few months, over a direct rebuke to the president himself, saying that he believed that Trump expressed this intent to defy a court order. Now, remember, of course, this all comes because McConnell, the judge, had ordered the Trump administration to make these payments. They said they could partially fund these payments. Basically, what happened here is the judge said he was not satisfied with the partial payments that the administration said they could make, and then the obstacles that the administration said that were getting in the way of paying it, meaning they couldn't do it for 2 or 3 weeks or maybe even months. Now, what was so striking to me about this is the judge said the Trump administration ignored his order, of course, to restart the SNAP payments quickly, but the judge attributed that to the president attempting to disrupt the payments for called political reasons here. So very unhappy with the way this was handled. Now, I will say we haven't heard from anybody in the Trump administration yet on this. I could imagine that the Department of Justice may be preparing papers to appeal this ruling. Will have to go out tomorrow, and that people's cards will be reloaded. I can't imagine that it would happen that quickly. We're at close of business today, but we'll just have to see what happens here next.
Well, and one of the things we've heard from, a lot of these food pantries where that service SNAP beneficiaries is, even if the faucet's cut back on, there's likely going to be some confusion and some time there. But Catherine, listen, this judge was one of the ones that blocked that another Trump 2.0 executive action earlier this year. He had recently spoken out publicly about 6 credible death threats directed at him in the wake of that. Listen, this is pretty rare, seeing a judge speak publicly like this. What more do we know? And is it a surprise that he made this ruling?
Look,
it's so insane that this is how we operate. This is just what our politics is now. Oh, you went up against my God as a judge? Well, here's some death threats. Very cool. There's a good chance SCOTUS will rule against him on the tariffs. Is there any chance he could finally be impeached and removed if he openly defies them? I feel like just defying a federal judge on Snap won't be enough. Brother, the sky is the limit. Are court orders anything? Yes, you go to prison. You can be held in contempt of court and go to jail.
I think that on the one hand, right, he has spoken publicly about those death threats, and in the past, obviously, you talk about that other ruling. He's ruled against the Trump administration before. I would think that the judge is separating that and those comments from how he was thinking in ruling as it relates to what was before him in the court the past week or so. Now,
don't worry, I'll arrest
that's
him.
on the front of his mind. I think that the Trump administration, whenever they make a comment about the judge or what, who knows, Trump hasn't said anything about the judge yet, but you know how he feels about judges who rule against him. And I'm sure he's aware potentially of the comments that this judge has made. So that could come up in that way. But I'm not totally surprised by the ruling, not so much because of the comments that the judge has made in the past about these death threats, but because of what on his social media account earlier this week about basically saying that SNAP payments wouldn't go out until the Democrats reopen the government, something that the White House press secretary tried to walk back, but Trump himself has not really clarified.
Yeah,
I'll arrest them.
Catherine Falders, thank you.
Airports across the country are bracing for even more flight cancellations and delays.
Oh,
after the FAA announced
I had this experience this morning, by the way. I had the FAA experience, chatters. I flew in from LaGuardia, which is, of course, a smaller airport than JFK. And while we were sitting on the fucking tarmac, I got cooked. We got 40-minute. You totally forgot your personal news today? Yeah, I don't care about personal news right now. The problem is, I don't even know how the fuck I'm gonna get back to LA. And then I don't even know how the fuck I'm gonna get to China too. So we shall see. 40-minute delay means Steam Deck time? No, for me it wasn't Steam Deck time. 40-minute delay meant sleeping. Because it was early as hell in the morning. But yeah. I know you're reading this. What is your moral or ethical justification for not being vegan? I know you're reading this shit, lol. Yeah, it's delicious. The food I eat.
and will cut 10% of flights at dozens of major airports.
Our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible.
Experts say airlines would be forced to cancel thousands of flights nationwide in the coming days.
What will this mean practically for air travel? Is this going to lead to more flight delays, more cancellations?
Well, I think it's going to lead to more cancellations. We're going to work with the airlines to do this in a systematic way.
ABC News obtaining the list of the 40 airports that will be impacted, from the nation's busiest airport, Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson, to LAX, Dallas, JFK, Miami, Detroit, and DCA here in Washington. Air traffic controllers have been forced to work without pay during the government shutdown, leading to staffing shortages, delays, and ground stops. More than 60,000 TSA workers also missing their paychecks, creating long lines and wait times at security checkpoints.
We're petrified. We are concerned.
At Dulles International Airport, FAA radar technician and union rep Cleverson Schmidt says the strain has reached a breaking point.
So you were already short-staffed?
Correct.
And how much worse has the shutdown made it?
It's exponentially made it worse because we're exhausted now.
And how much does that compromise air safety?
Every day it goes up. That compromise goes up every single day.
Sources say the FAA will start cutting 4% of flights starting tomorrow and ramp up throughout the weekend. The CEO of Frontier Airlines now encouraging passengers to buy backup tickets on separate airlines if you're flying in the next 10 days. Experts warning of massive headaches for travelers.
I'm sorry, what do you mean? Just fucking cancel the flight. Like what? Oh, you want to get back? You want to get back home? Just buy multiple tickets? That's crazy. No, dude, it's up to you to fucking limit the number of flights that you are making available. Like what? What do you mean? Buy backup tickets? What the fuck? I hate this country, bro. I swear to God. He said, hey, you want to fly back home? Sorry, gotta buy 2 tickets now instead of 1. Yeah, airlines already do overcapacity sales too in order to fucking max out on their profits.
This is going to be an unimaginable, unprecedented, unwelcome, unpleasant level of chaos. If you don't have to fly starting on Friday, please don't. Stay home.
So if you are traveling in the next few days, here is what you can expect. More delays and more cancellations. These restrictions begin tomorrow. They're going to ramp up over the course of the weekend and into next week. The transportation secretary even saying he may be forced to close parts of the U.S. airspace as this government shutdown continues. Now, some airlines like United are offering customers full refunds if they decide they do not want to travel, even if their flights are not impacted. But if you do decide to keep your flights, you are going to want to show up to the airport extra early. You're going to want to keep checking to make sure that your flight is still scheduled to take off, Michael.
Yeah, this is affecting so many people, Rachel. And Rachel, we're now learning that a government program that helps millions with energy assistance is being suspended.
Yeah, and this is definitely a gut punch, Michael, to so many across the country because millions of low-income Americans are already worried about whether they're going to receive their SNAP benefits, that federal food assistance program. And now the Trump administration announcing that it is halting funding due to the government shutdown for an energy program that helps low-income Americans, about 6 million of them, pay their heating bills. Of course, this comes as we are approaching winter and the colder months and as this shutdown drags into day 37, Michael.
All right, Rachel, thank you all, as always, for your great reporting. I appreciate you.